Hi everybody, happy Tuesday. It is June 30th, last day of June, and the last video before the 4th of July. So I've actually been reading a book, which I have here with me today. It's quite a large book. My wife makes fun of me. It's called Witness to Hope. It is the biography of Pope John Paul II. And it's a very interesting book. He was the Pope from before I was born until I was about to graduate from college. So basically my whole childhood of growing up in Catholic grade school and high school. So somebody I always heard his name throughout my whole life, but didn't know that much about. So I found this biography. It's very interesting. And why am I talking about it the week of 4th of July? Well, I think it's very relevant to what we constantly have going on in our country. So just briefly, Pope John Paul II was born in Poland before World War II, and he was, I'm trying to remember the year that he was born. Anyway, he basically had to become a priest in the underground because the Nazis had taken over Poland and were killing people that were trying to be priests. As soon as World War II ended, his country was overtaken by the Russians, and basically they put a communist puppet state in charge. So it wasn't as bad as it was during World War II, certainly, but it wasn't good. There were jailings, there were beatings, there were killings, and the people weren't free to celebrate and worship as they wanted, whether it was Catholicism or Judaism or any religion, under the Russians. So basically his whole life until he became Pope had been lived in an area due to the Nazis or the Russians that there was no freedom. So in this book he makes several trips to America, and one of them he was speaking, and I marked the post because I wanted to talk about what he said. From the beginning of America, freedom was directed to forming a well-ordered society and to promoting its peaceful life. Freedom was channeled to the fullness of human life, to the preservation of human dignity, and to the safeguarding of all human rights. An experience of ordered freedom is truly a cherished part of the history of this land. This is the freedom that America is called to live and guard. Excuse me, I had to pause there for a second. This is a freedom that America is called to live and guard and to transmit. She is called to exercise it in such a way that it will also benefit the cause of freedom in other nations and among other peoples. The only true freedom, the only freedom that can satisfy, is the freedom to live the truth of what we are and who we are before God, the truth of our identity as children of God, as brothers and sisters in common humanity. At a difficult moment in the history of this country, a great American, Abraham Lincoln, spoke of a special need at that time, that this nation under God shall have a new birth of freedom. A new birth of freedom is repeatedly necessary. Freedom to exercise responsibility and generosity, freedom to meet the challenge of serving humanity, the freedom to fulfill human destiny, the freedom to live by truth, to defend it against whoever distorts and manipulates it, the freedom to observe God's law, which is the supreme standard of human liberty, the freedom to live as children of God, secure and happy, the freedom to be America in that constitutional democracy, which was once conceived to be one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I think that, obviously, America is not perfect. We have a lot of problems, just like every other country. But if people had any historical knowledge or background about what it was like for other people, somebody like John Paul, who grew up in that situation, cherished the freedoms that we have in America and saw how they could be used for the betterment of all. Do we live up to that? Certainly not. We're human beings, and the country has certainly not always lived up to those expectations. But this week I thought that quote during a speech from Pope John Paul was especially poignant. And I hope everybody has a great week and enjoy some time with your family and friends. Take care.